Hey everybody, my name is Victor and I graduated from Baulko High School back in 2015, so 2 years ago. I'm currently on university exchange at Cornell University in the beautiful upstate New York, as you can see here. And I'm the co-founder of a not-for-profit organization called Generation Entrepreneur. At the same time, I'm currently working part-time as a global community manager for Navitas Ventures. Great, so what's my journey been since graduating from Baulko High School? Okay, so back in 2015 I graduated. 2016 I actually started studying at the University of New South Wales, doing commerce, major information systems as part of the co-op scholarship program. And I learned a fair few things, met some really interesting people in the co-op program. At the same time though, I thought some of my biggest learnings were in fact outside the classroom. At the time, I was continuing my work with Generation Entrepreneur. I was building that up from an idea into a real-world organization. And for me, I actually learned how to build teams, bring people together. I learned about leadership, I learned about fundraising and getting the support we need to actually roll out our impact. And we ran several events throughout my first year of university. I grew the team from, I think it was 5-6 people whilst leaving high school into a team of 20 by the end of that year. We raised funding from the University of New South Wales, from the UBS Foundation, and also from the City of Sydney Council. And that year we actually saw Generation Entrepreneur become officially a not-for-profit organisation, and we were really having an impact on a lot of young people who went through our programs. At the same time though, at the end of 2016, I spent some time interning at a venture capital fund called Navitas Ventures. And Navitas Ventures is the education venturing arm of a large Australian education company called Navitas. And what we do is we invest money in education companies, we incubate ideas, so we create new ideas and create new technologies and new ways of doing things. We also partner with organizations around the world to create new business models in education. And I love the work there so much that I actually decided to withdraw and drop out of my co-op scholarship program. So I repaid my scholarship back to the university because I dropped out, and decided to go full-time on my work with Navitas Ventures whilst doing part-time university studies. So I've now been at Navitas Ventures 9 months full-time. I've had the opportunity to really see the rest of the world. So as a global community manager, I've worked across 10 different cities in 4 countries and had the opportunity to actually represent Navitas Ventures at global conferences from ASU GSV in Salt Lake City all the way to EdTech Asia in Ho Chi Minh City. Along the way, I've had the opportunity to actually work with world-class educators all the way to disruptive entrepreneurs around the world, and that's something I'm genuinely passionate about. Currently, I still advise Generation Entrepreneur in a part-time capacity, where I now have a team of 30 who run themselves and actually are pushing out more and more programs across Sydney. I've actually decided to take a bit of a break from all the work I'm doing in Sydney and jump on university exchange to Cornell University whilst doing a bit of part-time work back at home. So I'm passionate about really just changing the world. Now, I know that sounds really grand and ambitious, and it seems like it's not a very tangible goal. But for me, I think what I'm genuinely curious about and what I'm genuinely interested in doing is really having a tangible and lasting impact in the world. That could potentially be building a company, all the way to building a not-for-profit, to a social enterprise. But as long as I'm doing something that I care about, and it's also having an impact, that's what I really want to do in the future. Two pieces of wisdom. First thing is, I want you to all go and experience more of the world. The reason being is I feel like as we grow up, we're all in a bit of a bubble, and this is determined by who our friends are, our upbringing, our parents, our teachers, other people in our lives. And this is all we know about the world, when in fact the world is so much larger than that. So I think a question a lot of young people have actually asked me in the past is, I don't actually know what I'm passionate about. And that's totally fine. One way to actually go and discover things you care about, things you want to do, is actually go out into the world and experience different things. How do you know what you're passionate about if you don't even know it exists? So for me, I believe experiencing the world and getting out there is one of the most important things. That's the first piece of advice. Second piece of advice is don't actually be limited by what's been done in the past, because the past doesn't really dictate what the future looks like. A lot of us are often told this is how things are done, and we're subconsciously geared to believe that the way things are currently done will be the way things are always going to be. But in fact, I believe that's not true at all. Sometimes you even have to question the fundamental rules and beliefs that we hold, even from what our parents tell us, all the way to what our teachers tell us, all the way to what society tells us. They may not necessarily be the way the future will be. So don't be afraid to question how things are currently done, and think about the future that you actually want to create.